This 4th of July, America turns 250, and that number ties straight back to Hebrew you will find on the Liberty Bell. I'm Inbal, a native Israeli. I've been simplifying Hebrew for English speakers for years, and today I'm teaching you the Hebrew behind 4th of July, the real words and connections between the US and Israel, your English and my Hebrew, so that by the end of this video, you'll start seeing more of the Hebrew that is hiding across the US. Let's start with that bell. The words on the Liberty Bell come from the Hebrew Bible, and so does the word for Jubilee. It comes from the Hebrew word yovel, yovel, which means Jubilee. The verse in Hebrew reads the following: V'kidashtem et shnat ה-50 שנה, וקראתם דרור בארץ לכל יושביה. יובל הוא תהיה לכם, ושבתם איש אל אחוזתו, ואיש אל משפחתו תשובו. America is having its 5th Jubilee, and the Hebrew word for it has been waiting on that bell this whole time. Now look at the same verse for the word liberty itself. In Hebrew, in this verse, it is dror, dror. It means liberty, but also release, letting go, setting free something that was bound. Today, dror is used mostly as a name, a man's first name, sometimes a family name, but it is not our everyday go-to word for freedom. For that, we Israelis reach for 2 other words that I want you to know. The first is chofesh. This is your go-to word for freedom. Chofesh. The second is atzmaut, and it is more in the context of independence. Atzmaut, which is why Independence Day in Hebrew is Yom HaAtzmaut. But unlike Israel's Independence Day, which uses this term, Independence Day, Yom HaAtzmaut, I think America's is more 4th of July as the main term, and Independence Day is secondary to it. So how do you say 4th of July in Hebrew? There are actually 4 ways that you can come across Israelis saying this date with minor differences, but knowing them will really help your Hebrew. So we're going to go over all of them, and I'm going to guide you through it. Starting with the most correct one, as decided by the Academy of the Hebrew Language, it is Arba'a Beyuli. Arba'a Beyuli. It is the equivalent of saying 4 in July. Arba'a Beyuli. If you want to speak the most correct Hebrew, this is your option. A second option, which the Academy of the Hebrew Language decided to give it a pass, is Arba'a Leyuli. Arba'a Leyuli. It is the equivalent of saying 4 of July. Arba'a Leyuli. And then options 3 and 4, which are incorrect according to the Academy of the Hebrew Language, but many Israelis use because they don't know it's incorrect, are Revi'i Beyuli or Revi'i Leyuli, using the 4th. 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th of July. That's actually the incorrect option, because when we say dates in Hebrew, it is incorrect to use 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, but many Israelis say it. So you can use each of the 4 if you want to be correct and use proper Hebrew. The first option is your one to use, but knowing what Israelis may and will say as the options that are very common and commonly used out there is what makes all the difference, because then it doesn't come as a surprise when you come across something that you're like, oh, this is not what I learned. And if your head is spinning a little bit, it's okay. That's natural. Numbers, counting, dates, it's really a lot, which is why I dedicated an entire unit only to numbers inside Practically Speaking Hebrew. Out of the 7 units of the program, 1 is only numbers, counting, years, age, anything that has to do with prices. It really changes completely your ability to stand on your own in Hebrew. So if that's what you need, the link is in the description. And we can't talk about 4th of July, the date, without talking about 250 years, because this is what America is celebrating this year. We could use our Jubilee to say it, which is not our everyday option, but we already learned it. So let's put it into practice. Jubilee in singular is yovel. Jubilee in plural is yovlot. And because it is considered masculine, we will say 5 jubilees, because 5 times 50 is 250. And 5 in Hebrew in masculine is chamisha. So 5 jubilees, which is 250 years, in Hebrew is chamisha yovlot. Chamisha yovlot. And that is not how we use 250 in everyday life. We say 250. So 250 in Hebrew has also 4 options that you may come across. But here it's easier because the Academy of the Hebrew Language decided that all 4 are correct. So you can just choose the one that speaks to you most or that seems the easiest. Knowing what Israelis may say to you or say and you may hear is what makes all the difference, which is why that is how I teach you Hebrew. So year in singular is shana. Shana. Years in plural is shanim. Shanim. 200 in Hebrew is matayim. Matayim. And 50 in Hebrew is chamishim. Chamishim. So the 4 options you may come across, Israelis say 250, are the following. Matayim chamishim shana, using the singular form of year. Matayim chamishim shana. That's option 1. Option 2, Matayim chamishim shanim, using the plural form of years. Matayim chamishim shanim. Option 3, Matayim v'chamishim shana, using and in the singular form of year. Option 4, Matayim v'chamishim shanim, using and in the plural form of year. The differences are really small, but again, the idea is to not be shocked by what you hear, why it's different, and what do they mean? Knowing that allows you to really handle your Hebrew with clarity and confidence. Before I moved to the US, specifically to South Carolina, I had no idea that Hebrew will be everywhere, hiding in English words. I think the first time I came across it, and it really caught me by surprise, and I remember going, "Hey, that's Hebrew," to my husband driving in the car, was the word pisga. You may pronounce it pisga. It is Pisga, the peak, the top of the mountain. It was a street, then a national forest, companies, and whatnot. I saw the word Pisga everywhere. And that was only the first one. Hebrew is woven into this country, in its places, in the names of people, far more than most ever know or notice. To me, these are nuggets of home that show the unbreakable connection between the 2 countries, the 2 cultures. So tell me in the comments which word you loved most or surprised you most, and which did I miss out. I read and respond to every comment. And when you're ready to truly speak and understand Hebrew, by understanding, I mean anything that you hear, anything that you read, from modern to biblical. Not just hold a few beautiful words, but stand on your own in the language. Practically speaking Hebrew is how you get there. If you're ready, join me. The link is in the description. Make sure that you're subscribed to my channel so you don't miss the next videos. And to all my American friends, family, students, and community members, have a beautiful 4th of July. See you next time.